Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and I can be reached at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. If you're interested in buying a home in the Villages and are trying to get a good deal, or you're trying to sell your home at a good price in a reasonable period of time, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Be happy to answer any questions you have or answer any questions about life in the Villages itself. Couple of things before we get started. First, make sure you check today's date. We produce this show every Monday. Make sure you're getting the most recent information. Secondly, all of this information is drawn from the MLS, the Multiple Listing Service. It does not include any properties on the village's own internal listing service, the VLS. For this reason, if you are looking to buy a home in the villages, you should employ two brokers, one who can show you properties on the VLS and one who can show you properties on the MLS. Without both brokers, you will not be able to see all the properties available for sale here. So let's turn our attention now to what's happening this week. We'll start by taking a look at the government 10-year bond yield. This government bond maturity most closely tracks the mortgage rate. And you can see that towards the beginning of 2020, rates were 0.4%, which equated to under 3% on the mortgage. Currently, the rates are close to 4%. We are down slightly from where we were last week, but I wouldn't be too comforted by this. It appears that the Fed intends to raise rates yet again at their next meeting, and I will point to the fact that it's unlikely that rates will fall without the economy slowing. I don't know which will be worse for the real estate market, higher rates or a slower economy. One of the two seems likely at this point. Let's take a look now at what's happening in the village's real estate market itself. We start by taking a look at total listings, which this week number 331, a slight increase from the 322 that we saw last week, and potentially a sign that the decrease in the number of listings is ending. Listings range in price from just under 175,000 to just under $3 million. Here we take a closer look at listings broken down by price segment. In the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range, this week there are 212 listings. Last week there were 203. The week before 206. The week before 203. The week before 213, and the week before 219. This is the median listing price for all listings. We're at a new low of 257.89, down from 258.20 of last week. Looking at this graph, it seems hard to deny that the listing price per square foot here in the villages continues to decline. Looking at listings in terms of the median time on the market, 54 days, the median time. This is tied for the longest median time on the market for all listings that we've seen so far. This is our last look at all of the listings, and this looks at what percentage of listings have been on the market for more than 100 days. 26.28%, up from 25.16% last week. The number of listings that have been on the market for more than 100 days has been steadily increasing now for several weeks. This graph shows us the number of new listings and the number of pending home sales. New listings in blue, pending home sales in amber. New listings this week are up from 26 to 36, and the number of homes that went pending is down from 37 to 29. Here we take a closer look at the new listings broken down by price segment. As you can see, the most active price segment of the 36 new listings, 25 were in the $300,000 to $500,000 range. Last week, 18, previous week, 13, week prior, 15, and the week before that, 20 listings. Now we take a look at the homes that went pending over the last 7 days. The median price on those homes was $258.55 a square foot, an improvement from the $256.29 that we saw last week. $245 to $265 seems to have been the range now for 6 or 7 months. This graph shows us the median time on the market for the homes that went pending over the last 7 days. They were on the market for a median 43 days compared to a median 37 days the previous period. We're at the higher end of the range. It'd be interesting to see if this continues to get worse. Here's a graph where we take a look at what the price change was from the original listing price for the homes that went pending over the last 7 days. Those homes that went pending over the last 7 days had a median decrease of 7.1% from the original listing price, worse than the 6.67% decrease that was in effect for the previous week's homes that went pending. Now we look at the homes that sold and closed over the last 7 days. They numbered 40 compared to 46 the week before. The homes that sold over the last 7 days ranged in price from 215,000 to 1,750,000. It might be interesting to note that the home that sold for 1,750,000 was originally listed for 2.1 million 128 days ago. That sales price was an almost 17% reduction from the original listing price. Here we take a closer look at the homes that sold and closed over the last 7 days, broken down by price segment. Of the homes that sold, 22 were in the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range. Last week, 33. Previous week, 30. Week prior to that, 18. And the week prior to that, 22. This week is the first week that we've seen the most active price segment for sold properties change from the $300,000 to $500,000 range to the $200,000 to $400,000 range. Hopefully, this trend does not continue. Here we look at the homes that sold and closed over the last 7 days to see what price per square foot was realized. $247 a square foot, the number, down from $253 the previous week. Too early to tell if we are seeing any kind of a trend here, but $240 to $250 seems to be our current range. This shows us the median time on the market for the properties that sold and closed over the last 7 days. They were on the market for a median 17 days before going pending and ultimately selling. This is a marked improvement from what we've been seeing recently. Under 20 days is close to the best numbers we've seen in almost a year. This graph gives us some perspective as to how enthusiastic buyers are. Of the homes that closed over the last 7 days, 38% were on the market for 7 days or less before being taken off the market and ultimately closing. 38% is the best number that we've seen so far this year. Here we look at what percentage of all listings have had a decrease on the asking price from the original listing price. 58% have reduced their asking price from the original listing price, down from almost 60% that was in effect last week. It's nice to see this graph turn down, but I wouldn't get too comfortable with it quite yet. Here we take a look at all listings and what the percentage decrease has been from the original listing price for all listings. Exactly the same as last week, a 4.82% reduction in the asking price from the original listing price is the median decrease for all listings currently. So that concludes this week's look at the Villages real estate market. If you're interested in buying a home in the Villages and are trying to get a good price, or you're trying to sell your home in a reasonable time and get a good price, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Be happy to help you or advise you or answer any questions you have. Hope to hear from you. Take care.